President Donald Trump's reelection to the White House.
Just want to say hi, everyone, and I see you all, and we'll get started in just a couple minutes.
Hey, Mayo, were you thinking on a presentation? Did you want a PowerPoint, like with a few slides, or was it just oral?
Oh, no, fantastic. The PowerPoint would
Okay,
be great.
great. Then I'm
We
ready
love
to go.
slides. We love slides. Oh, and for those that do have slides, if you could send me the slides after, because I want to share them with the media, with our partner, media partners. So, whatever you've got, just shoot it over.
A nice background, Katie. I wish I had a rainbow or something. Did you take that picture?
I did. That was during a storm this past winter. I went out, it was super windy, but it was just that like moment between torrential rain and a little bit of a break in the weather. It was so amazingly beautiful.
Oh, that's a great picture, boy. Classic.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can't believe I actually got it. It was amazing.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the news briefing for this Wednesday. Veterans Day is just around the corner. It's this coming Monday on November 11th. This is a wonderful time and the perfect time to remind veterans and their families to be sure to take advantage of all the benefits that they have so richly earned, and that our county's Military and Veterans Affairs Office is always here to help. Our Military and Veterans Services Officer, Jack Murphy, is here to talk about those upcoming Veterans Day events, which are so popular. We have the best parades ever around here. Plus, he's going to talk about the incredible work that the military office does for our local veterans. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Maya, and thanks for the opportunity to share what we're doing here in the office. As you mentioned, this is a fun and busy time for us. Last Friday, Nick was there with us along with some of our supervisors and federal and state elected leaders as we made our 33rd annual Veteran of the Year Awards dinner over at the Monterey County Fairgrounds. We sold out, I think, nearly 200 dinners and tickets. So that was a fun event. But I want to show everyone a little bit about what our office does, and more importantly, some of the things that are coming up here in the next week or so, because there's a lot going on in Monterey County, as you mentioned. So I'm going to share my screen and start jumping into this, and we'll go from there. Can you guys see that okay? All right. Okay. So Veterans Day coming up here.
Why don't you go ahead and put it in view? We see all your slides.
All right. There we go. Try that. Good? All right.
Nope.
Better?
Nope.
No. Oh, yeah. See, this is what happens. Let's stop sharing and then reshare. Let's try that one. Let's switch screens to screen number 2. Is that better?
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
there we go. Okay. My name is Jack Murphy. As Maya mentioned during the intro, I'm the director of the County Military and Veterans Affairs Office. I'm also the County Veterans Service Officer for both Monterey and San Benito County. So some of the numbers and events that I put up here coming up are for both counties. So what our county office does is we assist, support, and advocate on behalf of the 6,000 service members and their families in both counties, along with the approximately 23,000 veterans, survivors, and dependents that live in the Central Coast area. We're primarily known for doing benefits counseling, helping folks develop and submit their VA claims, whether it's a state or a federal claim. It's important to note that we are the only Department of Veterans Affairs accredited agency serving both counties. The good thing is there are not a lot of other agencies in the Central Coast area that assist veterans. The reason I say that is because, with the exception of VA accredited agencies at the county level, most of them are going to charge veterans, families, survivors, dependents, literally thousands of dollars for benefits that and services that our office offers for free. Numbers get people's attention, so I'll throw this out there for fiscal year 23-24, which is basically last fiscal year. Our two counties combined served 3,230 unique veterans. On the behalf of those 3,230 veterans, we filed 6,486 claim actions, of which 2,058 were VA disability compensation awards. I want to clarify that not every claim action is in support of a disability compensation claim or benefit. So there's a disparity in the numbers there. But 2,058 disability compensation claims. So those are compensable awards from the VA. That compensation totaled over $7.5 million in retroactive payments. So those are one-time tax-free payments for the veteran, and also added up to over $14.5 million of new and recurring monthly contributions. That's tax-free, by the way, that will go on essentially for the life of either the veteran or the survivor or the recipient. So that's new and recurring money that comes into the bank accounts of Monterey and San Benito County veterans that they'll in turn spend here within Monterey County. And then one thing as a father, as a parent that I am particularly proud of, combined within two counties, we processed and approved 311 California college tuition fee waivers valued at over $2.2 million. That translates into $2.2 million that veterans did not have to pay in tuition for their kids to go to college. Another way to think about it, that's 311 kids that get to go to college tuition free because of their veteran status of their parent. Some of the types of veteran benefits that we assist folks with, first and foremost, it's healthcare. That is a really life-changing benefit for people to have. We're very fortunate to be connected with VA Palo Alto, which is a great healthcare system. As I mentioned earlier on the previous slide, we assist veterans file for and get their disability compensation benefits. We also assist with VA pensions, which is a program for some of our more at-risk and financially limited veterans, and to include their surviving spouses. The educational programs I talked about, their vocational programs, home loans, burial programs, survivors benefits for widows of eligible survivors. Within the state veterans benefits through the California Department of Veterans Affairs. The main one that we work within is the tuition assistance program that I just mentioned. That's 311 kids going to college. But the state also has a separate home loan program from the federal Department of Veterans Affairs home loan program. So it actually is far more liberal in what you can use it for when someone's seeking to purchase a home here in California. And then other, ancillary benefits such as, getting some tax relief for your property taxes, your vehicle registration, getting a distinguished veteran or disabled veteran license plate, various things like that.
Beyond budgeting.
Some events that we've got coming up here. This is a little bit of a laundry list, but that's a good thing. This entire week, our county for the first time is participating in Operation Green Light, which is a national initiative that got started by the National Association of County Offices, county governments. So what we're doing is we're shining a green light during the hours of darkness on 3 locations: the County Government Center at 168 Alisal in Salinas, also the 1441 Schilling Place county facilities in Salinas, and then our office out here that we share with the District 4 Supervisor, the County Coastal Office at 2620 First Avenue. Operation Greenlight is really meant to provide honors and recognition for the sacrifices and services of our veterans, and also remind the public in a visual way that veterans are out there, and folks should take pause to show their respect and gratitude there. Another event that's taking place all of next week, or I should say all of this week, Hartnell College is having an event almost daily, whether it's a screening of select films or opportunities to meet and greet their students and have coffee and lunch and pan dulce with our veteran students at Hartnell. That's taking place this week. It's being run out of the Veteran Resource Center, and the contact is Ligia Polio at the number depicted there. This upcoming Saturday up in Hollister, there's going to be a Veterans Day poker run. It's being sponsored by the American Legion Post 69. Registration is from 9 to 10 in the morning, and then they'll roll off there to ride Harleys and other motorcycles across the North Central County areas here. On Sunday, the Veterans Transition Center here in Marina is going to be having almost an all-day Salute to Veterans Jamboree. It's a combination of a car show. They're going to have some bands there. They're going to have some auctions. This is going to be a lot of fun activities for family members. And that's taking place here in Marina, right off of Imjin Avenue at 220 12th Street. All day long. And I hate listening to it, but all day long, our Marine brothers and sisters out there are going to be doing the Hoorah Semper Fi for the Marine Corps birthday. But there are a number of formal events taking place for the Marine Corps birthday, namely the Naval Postgraduate School sponsors a Marine Corps ball on Sunday evening. Events that are taking place on Veterans Day actual Monday, November 11th. It starts off with the American Legion Post 635 down in Greenfield. They're going to be hosting a breakfast for all veterans and families and friends. That's from 9 to 11. Thereafter, everyone's going to convoy up to Salinas to get ready for the Veterans Day Parade. The main observance, if you would, is going to be at the Central Coast Veterans Cemetery here in Seaside. That's an event that is sponsored by the California Department of Veterans Affairs and the Central Coast Veterans Cemetery Foundation. That's at Seaside, 10:30. Senator Laird is gracing us as the keynote speaker for that event. We've got American Legion Post 521 doing their observation. That's out of Carmel by the Sea. The actual ceremony is going to be at Devendorf Park, right there at the top of the hill in Carmel by the Sea. That starts at 10:30. In Salinas, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial is going to be holding an observance as well. That's going to be at 11 o'clock. That's over by the Natividad Medical Center. The Marina American Legion Post 694 is going to be holding an observance followed by a luncheon at 11 o'clock. One event that we're proud to get the word out on is the San Benito County Veterans Day Parade in Hollister. It's going to go down Monterey Street and San Benito Street. The program starts at 11 in the morning. There's going to be a barbecue at noon. The parade itself starts at 1:30. This is the biggest parade that they've had, or they're planning for the biggest parade that they've ever had. I think I saw that they had 54 or 59 entrants registered already. So it's going to be huge this year. It's a great way to honor all of the veterans and service members and families up in San Benito County. Lastly, here in Monterey County, we will be having our annual Veterans Day Parade. That's going to be on Main Street in Salinas. The program starts at 1 o'clock at Salinas High School over in that parking lot there. And then the parade itself steps off at 2 o'clock. And I will be there. It's going to be a busy day. We're really looking forward to it. As veterans out there have questions about services and benefits, these are some contacts for the Department of Veterans Affairs. There are a number of potentially triggering activities and events that are going to be happening out there in the community. If someone feels like they need to talk to someone, I always recommend contacting the VA at 988-1. It's a great resource for people. It's easy to remember. They provide some basically healthcare, mental health discussions there. And then lastly, these are contacts for the California Department of Veteran Affairs, and most importantly, our office. We have locations at the Marina Clinic. Our main office is right here in Marina as well. We've got an office at 730 LaGuardia and an office serving San Bernardino County and Hollister. There's our phone number, 831-647-7613. You can scan the QR or go to our website, mvao.org. And that's all I got, Maya. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Well, that is everything.
Yes.
Jack, thank you so much for running it all down. And now we see your
stop share.
We see your email. Very exciting.
Awesome. Yeah, that's probably got some things that you shouldn't see.
We'll see if you can stop that. But in the meantime, the last thing you just mentioned is something that I think people don't think about, is that we're thinking this is a day of honoring and celebration, but you mentioned there were triggering activities that could occur. Is that something that maybe veterans may be hesitant to admit that happens to them? And that they may be hesitant to reach out to say, it's supposed to be a day for me, but I'm not very happy.
Yeah, absolutely. It happens. It happens to all of us. It's a day that we're supposed to remember our service, our experiences. We're supposed to, we take time to honor others who've served with us, some folks who may not be with us anymore. So for veterans, it can be a sad moment at times. And then, thinking about things like the Marine Corps birthday, you want to have a big celebration with a Marine brother or sister who may not be there standing with you again, or able to. So there can be, some sad moments, some reflective moments. It is about, celebrating our service. But veterans make many, many sacrifices, and that's part of the service. And some of those sacrifices can be painful. So that's why we encourage folks to keep the Veteran Crisis Line number at 988-1 in their phone or close to just close by, because you never know who's going to need it.
Thank you so much, Jack, for walking us through this, and we'll hope to see you out at some of these celebrations.
You won't miss me. Thank you.
Well, a few months ago, we shared some information about a pilot project that was supposed to work towards reducing some commuter traffic problems out in Toro Park, trying to avoid Highway 68 and cutting through the neighborhood. It was also part of a larger scenic corridor project. Well, the pilot project has run its course, and we're happy to have Doug Bilsey from TAMC to talk about what we've learned from that project and what are the next steps. Hi, Doug. Thanks very much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share this information with you on this great project. I'm Doug Bilsey. I'm the principal engineer at the Transportation Agency for Monterey County. And let me see if I can share my screen here. There. Is that there? Can you see my screen?
We got it.
So this is really a team effort. We worked really closely with the County of Monterey Public Works staff. A big shout out to them, Caltrans, and we'll get down to CHP, but CHP was just a great partner in this pilot project. To give you some idea of what the issue is, we have traffic on 68 from commuters leaving Salinas Valley going to the Monterey Peninsula. And as this gets congested, people start looking for ways to get around that congestion, and they start using the local streets. Portola Drive is one of the main ones. This is a blow up of that area. And you'll see Toro Park School is just right at the end of this. And this is the traffic on a typical day before we did our pilot project. And you can see the school bus in the far side on the left. This is right in front of the school, and this is not school traffic. This is just the cut-through traffic that happens every morning. What happens with this cut-through traffic, it starts backing up so that the the aggressive drivers start using the residential streets that are adjacent to Portola Drive, and we get what's called cut-through traffic. This is a residential street. This is the cut-through traffic that happens on a typical day because of the congestion on 68 and on Portola. Here's another way of looking at it. You can't get out of your driveway. You could just kind of imagine what the neighbors were thinking. So we met with them and we tried to build consensus on a project moving forward. In February, they asked us to do something with a target of a build project in August. That's just an incredible turnaround time to identify a project, get the resources, and put it into place before school commenced in August. So what we heard from the community was that the aggressive cut-through drivers, they just decay the quality of life. And that means that the neighborhood is less walkable and it's noisy every morning. They feel landlocked. You can kind of see from that one picture, you can't get out of your driveway. Some people said for 20 minutes, and that wasn't because the drivers wouldn't let them in. They had nowhere to go. The residential streets weren't built for this kind of traffic. So you have big trucks and heavy, noisy trucks going in front of your house. And the student drops off was about 45 minutes. So what were we trying to solve? You could kind of see here that, these arrows represent the volume, and the volume's heavy on 68, and ideally we'd like to keep the traffic on 68 and we wouldn't even have a problem. But what happens is people start saying, I'd rather cut through the neighborhood, and it just is the reason why we have this big problem. So the first phase was to close Torero Drive, which is to get rid of this right turn. And what ended up happening is a lot of the residents had to turn around and they had to go a little bit longer to get back onto 68. But we pushed that traffic back onto 68. And for the most part, that worked right before school started. And then when school started, well, this is what it looks like on Torero Drive. We put in a roadblock, and now there's no through traffic. There used to be 528 trips making that right turn and 700 on the main line. So you could see on Highway 68, about half of the trips that were going down 68 were getting off and getting back on at Torero. What we did is get rid of that right turn essentially to 0 trips and pushed it all back onto Highway 68. Now, what happened with that was you'll start seeing here on the Creekside end of the neighborhood, people started getting off at River Road and starting to use this as a cut through. Not as many trips, but still enough where we felt we had to do something. So we closed the entrance on phase 2. So that was closing Portola Drive at the entrance from 68. So in that case, we blocked the through traffic right at about the Creekside port, and it was about 152 trips. That's a lot less than the right turns, but that's a lot of trips for that area, Portola, and the traffic was starting to use the shoulders and pass, driving on the opposite side of the road, a lot of aggressive driving. And we got it down to 0. So what happens if you ignore those signs? Our CHP partners were out there in force for weeks. We're not enforcing as strongly as we could because, the CHP has a balance that they have to do, a balancing act, but they are there. They're keeping their eyes open. I do see them giving out tickets. And it is important for people to understand that even if there's not an enforcement there, there's a reason why we put up these signs. There's a reason why this was a project because of the impact to the community. So we had a community workshop in October 8th, and we asked a whole lot of questions. We had a lot of interaction. It was standing room only, and we had 200 chairs. So we're guessing 210, 220 attendees. And what we really came up with a lot of graphs, a lot of numbers, but they said, you really cut through the traffic. The cut through traffic's gone, but at what cost? So we're not quite there yet. That's the message we got back. And so what's next? We are looking at ideas for what we can do to improve the traffic flow on 68. Because if we can get rid of this queue and we can move traffic better on 68, there's no reason to even cut through the neighborhood. Caltrans has done some signal modifications. So The timing plans on Highway 68 are now improved so that in the morning and the evening, San Benancio and Corral de Tierra are coordinated and working really well. We've gotten a lot of good feedback and cut back my estimates from driving and doing some travel time studies. It cut down about 10 minutes of travel time. And we're still looking at things we could do on 68. And then we have to settle on the options. There was concern about the residents in some parts of Toro Park where they now have to get caught in this. And they used to be able to get on the freeway in front of this, upstream of this. So they never got in this mess of a queue. And now they have to fight the traffic like everybody else. So there's a lot of pushback on that. We're trying to address that in a way that finds a balance between trying to get rid of the cut-through traffic and put traffic back on 68. So we're going to have another community meeting in January and bring the community together one last time to come up with a final recommendation. And then we'll go back to the TMC board in January or February, and we'll hand over the pilot project to the County of Monterey with some recommendations. And then we'll start looking at how we can do the ultimate solution and make it more attractive than the temporary road closures that we put up there. So a big shout out to County of Monterey staff. They did an excellent job helping us get this installed and maintained. So really happy to have partners like that. And the CHP again for the enforcement and the volunteers of the community. We had so many volunteers out there helping us out there taking counts, watching traffic and making sure this was a success in terms of spreading the word, making sure the community understood why we were doing it, what we're trying to achieve. So just a big hats off all the way around for our project. Again, in February, we were invited to a project or a meeting to get something done. And this has taken 20 years to get going, but we got it done in 6 months. We have a solution. We think it can be a little better. We're going to work towards that, but very proud of the work that our team did. So with that, I'll answer any questions you have.
Doug, thank you so much for this really thorough review. One thing, people were thinking now this pilot project may be kind of at an end, but are the roadblocks and the things that prevent people from getting on to 68 from the area, are those going to remain in place until there's a different solution, or are they removed?
Well, right now, those are temporary in nature. And when we hand this over to the county, we're going to be working closely with them to see what we do in the next step. But since the TMC, my agency, doesn't maintain and operate the roads, we've just been facilitating this discussion. So I think it'll be up to the county to decide, do we keep this in place until we get a treatment, like nice landscaping and permanent locations? Can we keep that temporary setup there as an interim solution, or do we break it down, go back to that terrible traffic until we can come back with a final solution? So I'll let the county, make those decisions, but I think our TMC board very strongly supported the project and thought it was a good solution, and I think are close to something that we could say is going to be there for a long time.
So they are still there. So anyone who may hear that the pilot project technically is over or the study period, those blocks that prevent people from going in certain areas are going to remain for now.
Yeah, and there was intent to have the pilot project completed by now, but we had some challenges with Caltrans getting those signal timing improvements, and we wanted to see what would happen. We want to look at a couple things on 68 before we've said we've looked at it all. But then it really is, pilot project, if it works, it should stay in place. And what we've learned from that is it did work the way we thought it did, and it has achieved its goal. So I think it could stay in place if the county thinks that that's an appropriate solution.
Doug, thank you so much for walking us through this and for giving us an update. Those are some pretty impressive numbers of traffic numbers, and I'm so glad that my morning commute does not include that area. Every time I see those pictures, I just think, wow, other direction, right?
Yes. But then that's one of the things too, people have to realize there's a lot of construction in the area. Imgen Road, Davis Road, Hitchcock, they're all under construction. And people were saying, well, why would you do that with all this construction? There was more traffic going on 68. And my answer is, well, what do you think would have happened to that neighborhood if we didn't have these in place? So it really is becoming harder and harder to find other alternatives to 68. So our ultimate solution, which you alluded to in the beginning of the introduction, is we're looking at long-term solutions along 68, and we're looking at adaptive traffic signal equipment that will get the most out of the signals that we have there now. And the long-term solution will be roundabouts, similar to the ones that were the one that was built by Pebble Beach entrance. And that is what we see as the vision for the corridor in the long term.
Thank you again, Doug, again, very much for being here. We always appreciate.
Sure.
And speaking of roundabouts, we're going to talk a little bit more about some traffic. The final design for a roundabout at the intersection of Laurellis Grade and Carmel Valley Road is in its final stages. And this has been a project that has been long in the planning with the goal of improving safety at this intersection. So we're very pleased to have our Chief of Public Works, Enrique Saavedra, here to talk about the planning for this roundabout. Hi, Enrique.
Hi, May. Again, thank you for inviting me to present or talk about a project here at this intersection of Laurel's Grade and Carmel Valley Road. Again, my name is Enrique Saavedra. I'm the Chief of Public Works. I'm also joined today with Chad Alineo. He's assisting managing the project and has been working on this project for a number of years, trying to get to the point where it is now. So I just again want to highlight the project to the community and give a heads up of what to expect in the upcoming months as we get into the construction season. This project is scheduled to be in construction, start construction tentatively in the spring of next year, spring of 2025. And just to give everybody a background of where we're talking about, I'm going to share my screen and pop up a map of where the location is, just to give everybody a visual of this location. So there you go. Hope everybody's seeing my screen here.
Sure do.
Okay, good. So what I have here is the proposed location for this roundabout marked by this red pin here at this location. Again, it's the intersection of Laurel's Grade and Carmel Valley Road. And for those who are not familiar with the area, here's Monterey, Salinas to the north, Highway 68 is here, and then Laurel's Grade Road is a road that takes you over this hills and down into Carmel Valley. And Carmel Valley Road is one of our main arterials in the county, and it takes quite a bit of traffic and is quite busy with tourists in the summer months and a number of homeowners and property owners who use this road to commute to work and to go home. So over the years, we've been working with the community out here because this location is a location where we have a concern or want to improve the safety on and also improve how it operates. Currently, people experience some delay when turning left at this intersection. So we want to solve this issue or alleviate as much as we could. There's also a traffic impact mitigation fee program that's been established over the years for this area of the county, and there's some funds that are collected to make improvements like this. So this is one of these projects that we want to put forth and fund with these funds. So this is the location. I'm going to drill down now a little bit more detail. Are you guys seeing a roundabout picture here now? Hopefully. So here again is a more drilled down image of the intersection. You have Carmel Valley Road here going left to right, and then up or north is Laurel's Grade Road. So currently you come to the intersection and you stop and you go to the left or right onto Carmel Valley Road. Carmel Valley Road is a through road at this intersection. So with the proposed project, there's going to be a roundabout installed, what you see here with this circle. And so vehicles are able to come down and then go right onto Carmel Valley Road to go going westerly, or if they want to go easterly, they just come down and turn left and around the roundabout and just proceed without having to stop and just yielding for traffic. We determined this to be a much safer alternative, and we looked at a number of alternatives over the years. We looked at traffic signals, we looked at overcrossings and a number of other configurations. We found this to be the most economical and the least impactful design or improvement to this intersection. As you can see from this picture, it's quite it's an area it's kind of constrained by the neighboring uses of the parcel and the different uses. We have the hotel or spa next door here, Bernard's Lodge, that we want to respect the area. We got some private residents to the west and to the south. So again, we were trying to work with the area that we have, and this is the proposal we coming up with. It is going to take quite a bit of effort and construction staging to get it done to minimize disruption, but it is going to be something that people will driving through here will have to navigate through. We expect the work to last just over a year, so it's quite lengthy. It'll go through the summer months of next year, and I understand the summer months are our busy season for tourism, so we'll have to work extra, a little more careful with them and do more outreach, and hence, me coming to this meeting to kind of help spread the word out. But we'll be working with our partners to kind of help spread the word on the construction and to get the motorists, make them aware of what's going on, so when they drive through here, it's not a surprise. And again, thank you for giving me a chance to highlight this project to the community, and I'm available to answer any questions as well as Chad. So
Enrique, thank you so much, because this is one of those projects that's been talked about, people hear about it, and for those who are just hearing about it now, they may not know this has really been a long time in the making, and there's been a lot of communication between the county and the residents who live in this area and commuters about how to resolve this traffic. This was no easy, this isn't something that you just woke up one day and said, let's put a roundabout in there. And I'm wondering if you can talk about some of the community input, because it really helped guide the project.
yes, that's a good point. So literally, it's been like 10 years in the making while this project, if not more. Chad probably has the details on that, but we've been working very closely with the community. There's been a lot of community engagement and trying to come up with the best, I guess, solution for this intersection that was the least impactful. We've had a number of community meetings in the valley, reaching out to the different neighborhoods in the Carmel Valley. We had just one last month in October. And we anticipate having more, I guess, more outreach in the months to come as we get closer to construction. In terms of, talking a little bit to the project development, I'm not kidding when I said it took like 10 years to get to where we are now with this project. We have a road advisory committee that we meet regularly with, and they've been the ones kind of spearheading the community input on the project, and we've had numerous meetings, dozens of meetings on the details of the project and how to proceed with it over the years. So we're very happy and grateful for their input. I think with their help, we developed this alternative again we think is the most beneficial and least impactful to the community. So we're very grateful for their input. They've also been grateful, we're grateful for them in helping us spread the word out to the community. They've been very great in getting the word out to their different HOAs and neighborhood groups. So anticipate that people will know, and that's our goal. People will know about the project. But nevertheless, it can be a surprise sometimes when people see construction signs pop up. So
well, and a project that's going to require a year construction is something people are going to have to change, perhaps how they do their commute, the times they commute, how they're going to get around it. So, if they start now, they can figure it out. But what a great resolution to a long-standing problem.
yes, and to that note, we are going to keep traffic flowing through the intersection. We're not going to stop or detour traffic around the intersection. So we're going to line for traffic through the construction zone. It is going to take more time, because we suspect there'll be a little more congested, a little more slower as you go through the intersection. But so people should plan an extra 10, 15 minutes as they travel to school, to work, or through just this area. It's we'll put enough signs out, but you always have you have delays, unfortunately, just because of the activity happening on the side of the road and people getting distracted by the different equipment and machinery working.
Breathe deeply and enjoy enjoy the view while you're there. It's so beautiful whenever you look outside your car window in that area, right?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Enrique, very much for bringing us up to date on the project.
Okay, great. Well, thank you again for this time.
Thank you. Our county behavioral health staff is wanting to hear from the community about a proposal to build a mental health rehabilitation center and urgent care in Central Salinas. There will be a listening session Thursday, which is tomorrow, and you can take part in person or via Zoom. Katie Eckert is here from our County of Monterey Behavioral Health Department, and she's going to tell us more about the session and the project. Hi, Katie.
Hello, and thank you very much. I just shared my screen. Can you see the flyer here
Sure
about our
can.
community listening event? Yes, so many of you might be aware that, oh gosh, 18 months ago or so, we were awarded a $20 million grant to transform an old building into a mental health rehabilitation center here in the county. And then it seemed that building was not available. And so then we switched our project to having it be new construction. What a mental health rehabilitation center is for individuals who are suffering from severe mental illness, who otherwise might be put in the state hospital or be in our acute settings like our mental health unit at Natividad. It is a place for them to be able to get the supports that they need in a secure setting to help them recover and then rebuild their skills in living with independently in the community or with supports in the community. And, you know, one of the things that's really important about this is that currently we do not have any of these types of facilities within Monterey County. So when we have individuals who have this type of treatment need, we are sending them all over the state. We have people that could be as far north as Redding or down in LA. And the problem with that is it really infringes on their ability to stay connected to their natural supports, their family, their loved ones, their home community. And you know that makes it harder for them to recover and become independent. And so by building this new construction here in our community, we are making it easier for those natural connections to stay there, to make it so that family members can come visit, that someone might be able to, you know, go home on a, you know, for a birthday or a holiday or be able to get the treatment that they need and really stay connected to their community. So we are looking at right now building a behavioral health campus and the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center. Again, we had that $20 million awarded. We are in the process of requesting another $30 million in grant funding. And we're also asking our Board of Supervisors to support us with some debt that we would then be able to pay back through our Medi-Cal processes. But most importantly, what we need to do is we need to hear from you, our community, about our Mental Health Rehabilitation Center proposal, which is going to be, as proposed, it would be on our larger Natividad campus off of Constitution Boulevard. So it would back up to the jail, but also have that close proximity to Natividad Medical Center. So that people, number one, we could have that mental health rehabilitation center available there. We're also looking at asking for grant funds to build a mental health urgent care center where people could come in instead of going to the emergency department when they're feeling in need of mental health supports in the moment. They could walk into an urgent care setting and be able to get the supports that they need right there as well. So we would be looking for community support for both of these projects. We believe that they really are in line with what our community needs, what our residents have indicated as high-level priorities of making mental health treatment more accessible, and then also making it an easier path for recovery for individuals suffering from mental illness. And so we are holding this community listening event on Thursday, in person and by Zoom. The in-person session will be at our Alisal Integrated Health Center, which is our newest behavioral health facility. So you can see it as well. And again, it's something that I think is really a place where the community can be proud and feel respected as they come in to seek the help that they need. The Alisal Health Center is a demonstration of that. That is our brand new building. We're hoping to continue that concept and have these brand new, welcoming, community-centric buildings and services here on our Constitution site as well. Related to the urgent care and to the mental health rehabilitation center expansion, we definitely have this November 7th meeting where your input is needed. We will be using your input to help guide the project, also to help address any concerns that you might have, and then for our grant writing purposes. A related item is that our Board of Supervisors, who is always interested in hearing from our public as well, on November 12th is having a discussion about capital facility projects. And I believe that this is one of the conversations that they are bringing up for consideration. And again, I know our Board of Supervisors is always interested in community voice and hearing directly from the community about what your needs are and what projects that you would like our board to support. And I think that is pretty much all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Katie, thank you so much for sharing this and for taking us into the background of why we need this listening session. Kind of a scary lift to go from a $20 million grant to rehab something to building something from scratch. So I'm sure you're looking at the long game on this about how to, fund the rest of this. But for people who are going to come to the session, what are the things that you want to hear from them? What would comments be that would really help drive the search for additional funds to get this done?
I think that one of the really big pieces is to really hear their perspective of the community need. How far have the people that they know had to travel? How far have individuals, whether it's their family, their friends, how difficult has it been for them to be able to seek mental health supports when they need it? I think hearing the personal stories and hearing directly from the community about what they see as the need, I think that is incredibly important. It might help us guide some of the service development there, because we will be also looking at having other mental health outpatient services and access to services there on site. And so hearing from the community what they see as obstacles, what they see as challenges that the community has faced, I think that is critically important. And then I think it's always important for us to know that we believe that this should be here on our campus with Natividad, that it is part of the whole continuum of care, that it's not just going to the emergency department when you're in crisis, which, just to think about how hectic an emergency department is. And if you're experiencing a mental health crisis, that's not a calm environment to help you stabilize. And so whether you are there for physical health reasons or whether you are there for mental health reasons, it makes it challenging to mix those client populations. And there is, there's a lot going on. Our emergency departments are overcrowded. So what can we do better that is really addressing our common core humanity and really helping us have an atmosphere of respect, inclusion, and treatment accessibility for people, no matter what their health condition is or mental health condition is. That's really the focus.
And then to put, if we could put this in place, if you were to look at what here's the goal of to add these, what we already have, where would that put Monterey County in terms of being able to really assist our residents who have these needs? Because this really brings us, we're going to raise the bar on being able to serve people with these additions.
Yeah. So I can tell you at any point in time, we have between 60 and 100 Monterey County residents who are in similar treatment facilities throughout the state. Many times it is impossible for their loved one to actually go visit them. And it is impossible for them to go visit their loved one because we're talking about hours of driving to be able to have that visit. That impairs people's ability to recover and to be able to step down to lower levels of care and treatment. We want our Monterey County residents home. We want to help them recover. It's the same if you think about, if I had cancer, but I only could get treatment if I went up to Redding and then I was there for months at a time. That's pretty devastating to not just me, but my family. And I'm separated from all of the people who are my natural supports. And so that impairs recovery. And so by bringing those people home, we're going to be able to help them stay connected to their families, to their loved ones, to their community, and then be able to recover more independence in their life and step down to lower levels of care in a much more humane and hopefully faster way than occurs right now. So that makes a huge difference on that front. And having a crisis urgent care where people right now are feeling that they're really in crisis for their mental health condition, for whatever reason, right now, you can call the crisis line, and the crisis line, we can come out and have a mobile crisis response and, look at de-escalating in the community. That takes time. You can go to the emergency department yourself, and you will be there for a while. And again, it's a very hectic environment, and it's a little daunting. And sometimes also law enforcement might put you on a 5150 and transport you to the emergency department, which is an involuntary hold while you are being evaluated, whether for your mental health condition, and having an urgent care where you have freedom of choice to say, I need help and I need it now, that I can walk into and I can say, hey, this is where I'm at. Can somebody help me? And that we can get you connected to that care in a calm, humane way. That makes a really big difference. So we're looking at having that available 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that people have that opportunity and that choice.
Katie, thank you very much for sharing all the details and kind of your vision of what you really want for the residents of Monterey County. And we really hope for the best on the listening session. And we really hope people will come prepared to share what they want and what they know for the betterment of all of us.
Thank you so much.
And thanks everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week. We'll see you then.
Adios.